Hey guys, Steve from Resale Dojo back, and today I'm here with lesson 3 of our How to Sell DVD series on eBay, and this one is lesson 3, Reading the Racks. Now I'm going to take you through 3 important things for when you're at the store and reading the racks to think about. The first one is going to be categories, the second one is store system, and the third one is prioritization. Now you first step into that thrift store, it may be a little daunting when you start to see all the racks sitting in front of you, especially when it comes to DVDs, because a lot of times they just put it in there. But if you go to the good stores and people are stocking them constantly, a lot of times they're going to be organizing DVDs in certain ways. The first thing when I go in there, I think about what categories I'm going to be searching out for. And below I have the 5 main categories that you're going to see on those racks. It's going to be box sets, you're going to see Blu-rays, you're going to see regular DVDs, you're going to see VHS tapes, you're going to see video games. Now the picture on the right, I highlighted or put a little box around those different types. So at this store, the top row has green box there for video games. There's a little Blu-ray to the far right in the blue box. You're going to see all these series that are in there, or box sets. Then you have just a ton of regular DVDs in there. Next, when you go into a store and you start thinking about sourcing DVDs, you want to have the store system in mind. Now, every store or chain is a little bit different, but once you figure out their system, you're going to be able to hack your way into finding the better DVDs and better goods in the store in general. So there's 3 things that I look at when I go into the store. I look at what are the color codes, if they have any, what are the dates on the tags, and where do they place them on the racks. Now let's first talk about color codes. Now if you look at the picture on the right, it's a yellow Goodwill tag. They rotate through tags every week, and they'll have a fresh color out there probably about every 6 weeks is how they work, at least here in Arizona. For where you are and for your stores, it may be a little bit different, but that's how at least the Goodwills work here. For this tag, they're going to put out the same color for a full week. Every piece of new inventory coming out is going to have that color code on there. That is very important to know, especially if you're going to a store multiple times a week. Once you've gone there a few times that week, the next few times you go in, you only need to be looking for that color tag that you know that's being put out there this week. That'll save you so much time looking at the racks, because you're like, oh, I only need to look at for yellows right now. I could skip all other colors because that means I've looked at those earlier in this week. The next thing you want to pay attention to is the date on there, especially when you're trying to figure out if that tag is a newer tag or not, or how long it's been sitting there. For the ones that have the closest date to the current date, those are the ones I pay attention to the most. That means it's been sitting on the rack the least. It means it's had the least amount of people looking at the product. So the last thing I think about when I go into a store and the store system, I think about placement. A lot of the people that are replenishing the shelves, they like to slide over the DVDs to one side and put it in there on an end. That's how most stores you'll see. They'll fill the ends up and try to just jam as many in the ends. There'll be some where people are just placing it in the middle or wherever there's an open spot, but a lot of times they're going to be sliding onto the left side or the right side. So if you have a short amount of time, I'm going to be looking at what's the current color that's out there. I'm going to be looking to see if there's any, you see what the closest dates are, and I'm going to be looking on the edges of the racks, because that's most likely going to be the newest product that's being shelved that week or that day. The last key to when you're looking in the racks is just prioritization of your time. And so if you had a short amount of time, these are going to be my 6 tips of what you want to look for. The first is going to be the newest inventory, which we talked about before. That's going to be what's the current color. Now, a lot of people go in there and look for the discounted color, but when you're looking at discounted colors, those ones, especially for stores like Goodwill, are for colors that have been sitting there for probably 4 to 6 weeks already, and the really good product is already going to be picked over. So unless it was like super high priced and now it's down to half price or $1, it's not really worth looking at those, especially if you have a short amount of time. look at the newest color that is out there, because that you're most likely going to be able to find product that is not cherry picked yet. The next top one that I look at is boxed sets. Those are going to be very good money makers, especially if you find them sealed. If you have a short amount of time, focus on box sets. Next ones I'm going to be looking for are Blu-rays. I'm going to look for just where they're bunching all their Blu-rays up, especially if you could find new ones in there. Find any ones that seem obscure. Those seem to move pretty quickly for myself. I'm going to look for anything sealed. So if you have a short amount of time, look for anything sealed outside of the top categories that we just talked about. So if you're looking at just regular DVDs, you're going to want to look at the sealed ones before you're looking at used. Just because those are the ones you know are going to have the best condition and better prices out there, especially if you have a short amount of time. Then I'm going to look at regular DVDs in general and just see what's out there, see what's mixed. If you looked at lesson 1, I go through a bunch of niches of where you should be prioritizing just in categories in general for DVDs, and that's where you're going to be able to find my list of just even in the regular DVDs, single DVDs, what you should be looking for in those bunches. And lastly, I have a bonus category for you guys to prioritize. If you're looking at DVDs, there's already going to be video games mixed in there. If you're comfortable picking up video games, definitely look at that. I know a lot of people will source video games first, and so that's why I put this down here. For myself, when I go in there, I actually look at the video games before everything. But since this is how to sell DVDs, I just wanted to put that in there for you guys to think about that when you're there. You kill two birds with one stone. You're able to hit two categories at once, and it's pretty quick to source as well. So thank you guys for tuning in for lesson 3 of my How to Sell DVD series on eBay. If you guys liked what you saw, make sure you subscribe so you could catch the next one that comes out in the series and watch the rest of them as well. Hit the thumbs up if you really liked it, comment, anything like that. It helps my channel a lot. If not, anyways, I still love you guys, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.